It is 10:06 in the morning. I have a haircut appointment at 10:30 this morning. It has been a long time, obviously. So here's the thing about the barbershop now. They're doing appointments, which is super seamless, it's fine. But the problem is, of course, you need to be here exactly at the time, whether, I think it's hour segment, so mine's 10:30. And I don't know if it's just me, but for some reason, I would rather sit around and wait for an hour, which is what they used to do. You used to just sit and wait for an hour. But I'd rather do that than have to, I don't know, be somewhere for yet another appointment. That's them flagging me down. They come get you from your car. All right, I'll go. Bye. What do you think? Is it good? It's kind of short. I wish it was a little bit longer on the sides, but I don't know, it's a pretty good cut. Plus it'll grow out and I'll be able to do my thing with it. Anyway, currently it is 4:07, which means about 4.5 hours have passed since I got out of the barbershop. And I haven't been vlogging it. Let me tell you what I've been doing this whole time. I've basically just been doing this. Pacing back and forth and thinking about how I'm going to make something new, creative, and exciting that people haven't already seen before. And I believe that is one of the most difficult things in the entire world to do. But obviously, it is the key to the creative success of anybody in an artistic field. Movie makers like Quentin Tarantino or filmmakers like Casey Neistat, they invented something, or really led the charge in a certain genre. So what do young filmmakers, and I'm speaking in terms of how long you've been doing film and not your actual age, but what do? We tend to follow in their footsteps, seeing what worked for them and hoping that it'll work for us as well. Just replicating or imitating what they did best. Now there's a couple of really obvious glaring problems with this. For one, the student rarely, if ever, becomes the master. Once a certain artist has defined their genre, you're never gonna be that pinnacle that everybody looks up to. Think of somebody like Martin Scorsese when it comes to mob movies. You might make a really, really good mob movie, but it's not going to ever be a Scorsese mob movie. And the chance you'll ever be as critically acclaimed as him is next to nothing. You know why? Because they're going to be judging your creation on his creation. And if this is their baseline of greatness, it's pretty much impossible to reach, let alone overcome. The second problem is that with all the time that you spend copying or being inspired by other artists, you're wasting time that you could be building your own art form or telling your own stories. And I am certainly not immune to this. For me, a lot of my vlogs and the style of them is inspired by Casey Neistat or Peter McKinnon or Dan Mace. Those are the guys that I watch the most YouTube of, and I really enjoy what they do, so they inspire me to make things like that. But the problem is I'll never become popular if I just keep doing what they do. Why? Because why should you watch me when you can watch the person that I'm striving to be? The challenge here is coming up with your own style, and that's something very, very difficult. We are all products of the things that influence us, whether it be our upbringing or our certain interests. So to go away from that and to try to create your own thing is very contrary to your natural programming. Still, this is the secret to success. Contrary to popular belief, you're not going to become popular doing the things that are already popular. The only way that you'll gain a true following and not just like kind of wedge your way in there with everybody else is by being the first person there. And the only way of being really, really successful in what you do is to be the one who created a certain genre. And to do this, you need to start doing things that are different, things that nobody has ever really seen before, ideas that were kind of taboo in the past. And most of all, you cannot be afraid of people saying that what you have created is complete and total garbage. Look at somebody like Quentin Tarantino. He defined, if not created, an entire genre based around a mixture of comedy, shocking language, and violence. Before his time, no movies like that really even existed, especially not in American cinema, because his ideas were so foreign, so different, and nobody thought they would be successful. But Quentin Tarantino invented something. Once his movies gained that popularity, on came the slew of imitators, or people who were simply inspired by Quentin Tarantino's movies. And that's where most young filmmakers like myself start to fall in. The dream and the goal is to become popular and have a career in movie making or filmmaking. So we see people who have had success in film, and then we try to replicate that and study that and implement that into our own films, hoping that they will gain the same success. But why would somebody watch something that you've created if it's just a lesser version of whatever it was you were inspired by? They wouldn't. So the million-dollar question is this: As a new filmmaker who's just learning the ropes, just deciding and building their own creative personality, how do you become something truly unique and unique enough that you're gonna stand out from the rest of the crowd? Well, it's certainly not easy. Step one is, as with all problems, realizing that it is a problem to be too focused in on imitating something you love. It can take guts to move away from something that's proven to be successful and put out your own creation, especially if it's something that's really close to your heart and really personal, but really, that is the only way to be truly creative. And I truly believe that is the only way to have success nowadays, or really any days. Finally, you need to produce the type of content that you want to be producing, and understand that if people don't take to it, well, you're just gonna be one in about 7 billion other people who have tried to make it in the art or music industry or movie industry and failed. Sometimes the things we create, they just don't speak to everybody the same way they speak to us, and that's okay, even though it can be kind of disappointing. Anyway, that's what's been on my mind for today. It's about, well, it's 4:30, which is really good time, so I'm gonna sit down and edit. By the way, this is the second time I filmed this video. Hopefully it came out a little bit less rambly and awkward the second time. For all these videos, I don't have scripts or anything. I just kind of talk to the camera, so every once in a while I'll go on a tangent and just completely forget what I was doing. What was I doing?